I don't think the idea of coming out should be what we see it as today. Here's what I mean by that.
Feel the courage to just let it all out. You don't need to hold your tongue, cause you ain't doing nothing wrong. Ready up, it's time for your first day.
I'm a little hesitant to make this video, mostly because it's not something I usually talk about. But I think it's pretty important to have coming out videos, or at least to discuss the process of coming out. I think about how as a teenager, how different my life would have been if I could just go on the internet and Google coming out videos and see that there's people out there like myself. That's gotta be life-changing. I don't think the traditional idea of coming out works for everybody. I know it definitely didn't work for me. I wasn't about to sit down my parents or my family members or my friends and tell them, hey, I've got some news, and then proceed to tell them that I'm queer. There was no way in hell I was gonna do that. Not because I couldn't and I didn't think they would be accepting, but because I didn't think I should have to. I don't think teenagers should be expected to have that big moment of comforting their family members. I feel like having a sit down and coming out is for the people that are not coming out. Like the LGBTQ person is trying to make them feel better, trying to ease them into the idea of their newfound identity. And I don't think that's fair for the queer person. It should be the other way around. Parents should be coming to their kids, sitting them down and telling them, you're gonna go through some changes during your teenage years. And one of those changes might be to your sexuality, to your sexual orientation. You may be realizing some things, and whether you're gay, straight, bi, trans, non-binary, etc., we're still gonna love you. That's what coming out should be. It should be the parents' responsibility. It should be the family members' responsibility. It should be the friends' responsibility. I think it's absolutely insane to expect a teenager who's just learning what they're going through to try to explain it to people that have no idea. I mean, the teenager is in the middle of figuring it out. They shouldn't have to be comforting anyone else. They should just be living their lives as kids and exploring what they need to explore and having a good time. I know that idea is not for everyone, because it can be extremely liberating to come out. It's just important to understand that not one thing works for everybody. For me, I never really came out. Still to this day, I just kind of act the way I am. I have my opinions. I bring a significant other for whatever gender they may be, and I don't really say anything. I just live my life. If somebody doesn't like it, honestly, they can go themselves.
Very scary, changing lane. Oh, so radical, oh, we got laid. It's so clear, we can never stray, yeah. From the road, yeah. Our road, yeah. It corrodes. If you don't like yourself.
When I was 14 years old, though, my mom did ask me about it. I was in high school then, and I was going on dates somewhat frequently, mostly with females. And my mom would drop me off on these dates, whether to the mall or the movies, you know, the usual stuff. Oh my God. Did you hear that voice crack? I feel like a teenager again. So this one particular time, my mom had asked me what the person's name was that I was going on a date with. Well, I didn't want to tell her the name because it was obviously a male name and she wouldn't know. So I was very vague and refused to tell her. And she thought that was really weird. And I knew she knew. There was no point in playing a game around it. We were driving in the car and she pulled over and we started talking. And I asked her, what if I told you it was a guy that I was going on a date with? And she responded with, what if I told you I already knew? And I was like, yeah, of course you already knew. You're a mom. Moms know everything. I don't know what I expected her response to be, but what it was definitely not what I was expecting. She didn't kick me out of the house. She didn't hit me or anything crazy that I've heard happen to a lot of my friends, unfortunately. I was very fortunate with the way my mom reacted. But the first thing she said was that I know in my heart you are not gay. And that was the moment I realized that moms don't know everything. And that was one of the very pivotal points in my life where suddenly I wasn't a child anymore, because I knew more about myself than anyone else did. And that was an incredible, liberating realization. My mom asked me if I was going to tell anyone else in the family. I said, hell no. Not because I was afraid of what they might think or afraid that they might not accept me or anything like that. I didn't really care who knew. It makes no difference to me if somebody knows that I'm queer or not. I mean, I'd never hide it. I wouldn't deny it and say no. I just don't feel the need to introduce myself with that tag. Hi, I'm London. I'm a it. I mean, it's accurate, but I don't feel the need to introduce myself that way. And I know a lot of my friends have it a lot harder than I do. My parents and my mom especially, ever since I was a teenager, ever since I was a kid, all my friends knew that her house was the most accepting place where everybody was invited and welcome to come in. And I think she's changed the life of a lot of friends that I've had and that I have now, some that are still in my life and some that have left. And it was the way that she treated my friends, people that had parents that kicked them out or didn't accept them. It showed me just how loving and caring she is to any LGBTQ person, and that made me personally so comfortable knowing that she didn't just put up with me being queer because I'm her son, but that she just genuinely accepted everybody, didn't understand, doesn't understand why anybody would reject us or why anybody would reject their children. There's just so many other strange and weird and more exciting things about me than my sexual orientation. I'm pretty weird. And if somebody's gonna hate me for being queer, there are so many worse things that I do than being queer. I think looking back on me being a teenager, if I could do something differently, I would have just enjoyed it. I would have just enjoyed the journey instead of trying to figure everything out so quickly. And now I wish that I relaxed and had fun with my friends, had love interests. I wish I went to class more than I actually did. But that's what happens when you know better. It's always easy to look back and see what could have been changed. But here I am today, this offensive human being that I am, and I'm happy about it. So there's your feel-good moment of the day. Take it and be happy.